Brought to you by Rush TV. Hello and welcome to the second episode of OCWFED's Turnbuckle. I'm your host Tammy Young and this is the weekly report. Starting off today's news, we have an update from OCWFED, who has announced it will be hosting its 18th anniversary pay-per-view show on February 25, 2023. No matches have been announced for this show as of yet, but we hope to have an update on that soon. On to Ambition, as we have reached out to Paul Pugh regarding the return of Ambition and its starting date. The response that was received excites me, as we were informed that Ambition is set to return on February 22nd. We have no news as to who will be scheduled to appear for Ambition's return, but we will keep you updated as more information is shared. Up next we have our OCW injury reports, as a couple more stars have been added to the list. First up is our update on Cody Omega. All rumors and reports that we were able to dig up on Cody have still listed him as being hospitalized. Our sources state that Cody is still under surveillance as he is dealing with a possible hernia or intestinal blockage. Recently added to the list of injuries, we have Elliot Parker, who was scheduled to compete in a tag team match on Riot this past week. Parker, who was a no-show for the event, was reported as having been in a car accident on his way to the arena that evening. No word has been said on the state of his injuries or when he will return to the ring. Along with Elliot Parker, another name that has been added to the list of injuries is the current queen of OCW, Ashley Moore, who sustained what we hope is a possible sprained ankle following a post-match assault from Flojo, aka the Queen Slayer as she has been preferred to be called, following the match. Ashley Moore was tossed out of the ring and landed poorly. More on that later. As for now, Ashley was last seen being helped to the back by medical staff and trainers. We'll keep you updated on the matter as it's revealed. And for today's final injury update, we have Miguel Ramos, also known as El Parka. El Parka has been noted as taking time off for medical and mental health reasons. Parka, who had a very strong year leading up to his loss to the new OCW North American champion Owen, had this to say: "My body, my mind, everything, it all caught up to me. I kept pushing myself time and time again, against Dennis' advice, against my family's advice, against the medical professionals' advice. I was a danger to myself, but I just kept going. For now, I can't ignore it. I am going to get my mind and body right." No word has been shared as to how long El Parka will be missing from action, but we wish everyone on this list a speedy and healthy recovery. On to the first Riot of 2023. Riot Ultra was a huge success as the show surprised fans with a new opening intro as well as the appearance of the OCW heavyweight champion Harvey Hamilton Ocean. After joining Christianity, H2O has taken on a different look and personality that not many fans have come to like from the longest reigning OCW heavyweight champion. Harvey, who looked to challenge Quartz to an impromptu match for the CCW Championship, was interrupted by a surprise attack from one half of the tag team CQC and OCW Grand Slam winner Rust Cole. After helping try to get his sister La Mujer free from the power of Christianity, it looks like Rust Cole has his eyes set on the OCW heavyweight champion next. Speaking of having eyes for one person, looks like OCW's Iceman Nate Mack and Marissa have cleared the air and rekindled their relationship. The couple, who are both well-known in the wrestling industry, had been dealing with several issues over the past year, ranging from issues with John Carter and his future investment case as well as possible adultery. Sources close to the couple have revealed that they have been working on their relationship behind the scenes, and have now decided to give it another try. Fans of the couple have expressed their excitement at the news, as the two wrestlers have always been a popular pairing both in and out of the ring. Another popular pairing of the night was the match against Luis Bishop versus Joe Deaver. The match started on a high note fairly quickly, with Deaver attacking Bishop during a pre-match handshake. The two put on one hell of a spectacle as Bishop risked everything on a dive to the outside, just barely landing the attack. It was a match that turned heads as the two put on an amazing 14-minute match that left fans at the edge of their seats as Bishop came out the winner. Both men gave it all they had and left it all in the ring, giving the fans more than their money's worth. It was a match fans will be talking about for weeks. On to our first women's match of the year. We have the Queen of OCW Ashley Moore versus the Queen Slayer, FloJo, in somewhat of an unexpected turn of events, as Ashley, who is known for being pretty dominating in her matches, seemed to barely be able to get any offense in against FloJo. It was a change of pace, as FloJo, who is known for not faring so well against Ashley Moore. FloJo, who seemed to have everything Ashley had planned scouted, helped FloJo pull out a victory over Ashley. FloJo, who has now teamed with Greed and the rest of the family, seems to be aimed at the throats of OCW members, as during a post-match handshake Ashley was assaulted and thrown from the ring by FloJo. Ashley sustained an injury during that assault, which was reported on at the beginning of this show. Speaking of Greed, Elliot Parker was replaced by C-Note aka Greed in the show's tag team match of Max Storage vs Sect of Emancipation for the #1 contendership for the tag team titles against Sanctum. Both teams put up one hellish battle against each other for the right to fight the tag team champions. Max Storage proved to be the better team as they managed to get the victory, giving them the #1 contendership. A match we here at the Turnbuckle are looking forward to seeing. Up next we have Chris Green versus the OCW International Champion Claudio Stardom, and what some would consider a surprise victory, as Chris Green managed to outpace Claudio for most of the match. Claudio having proved he could hang with the big guys after winning the International Championship from Derek Smith at Don't Come to New York pay-per-view and successfully defending it against Trey Golden at the Clash, seemed to be outmatched by Chris Green. The match was almost won by DQ, as Green was faced with nearly getting counted out during the match. Claudio gave it his all but was no match for Chris Green, who stood victorious against the international champion. Could this lead to an international title match for Chris Green? Only time will tell. In other news, following Green's victory over Claudio, the Castianity member was attacked by a fan who climbed over the barricade and assaulted the OCW star. The fan, that has been identified as Cody Hagan, proceeded to run up the ramp and blindside Cassidy Hayes in the process before climbing back over the barricade and getting away. Security was nowhere to be found during the attack, and both Green and Cassidy have been checked out by OCW medical personnel and have been confirmed cleared of any injuries. Our sources state that word around the locker room is Cassidy is thinking of taking legal action against Mr. Sensation following this assault. No official word has been said yet, but we have heard that Cassidy is going to his own doctor for a second opinion of the condition, as the attack may have caused harm to his surgically repaired neck. We will keep you updated on what follows. Speaking of potential lawsuits, we have a meet-up in the ring of the Organza Lord and Savior Mugen and the returning king of OCW, Doc. After taking some time off, it looks like Doc is ready for action, and his first target is Mugen. The two exchanged a few words with the Organza Lord, seeming to somewhat downplay Doc's intentions. But it seems like Doc has one thing on his mind, and it's getting his hands on Mugen. I for one look forward to seeing where this goes from here. Before moving on to the main event, let's go over the winners of some of the other matches during Riot Ultra. First, we have Scotty X getting the victory over Gonzalo Munoz in their one-on-one fight. Next up we have Hanzo pulling out a victory against Hito Guay and KC Barrett in a Twisted Steel Warfare match. For our big meaty men match, we have the North American champion Owen getting the victory over Mark Reese. And for our final match of the day, we had the Iceman Nate Mack versus the CCW champion Innis Quartz in a non-title one-on-one match. Nate Mack, who hasn't appeared in a match on OCW TV since the Future Investment match at Resolution 16, had a pretty uphill battle on his hands, as Innis Quartz has been actively fighting and defending his title against Castianity as well as other competitors for the past several months. Nate Mack seemed to be unable to shake the ring rust, as Quartz made easy work of the Iceman and picking up the victory in the Riot main event. Riot Ultra number 596 was an amazing show with all kinds of twists and turns. There are plenty more stories and events that have taken place on the show that was not covered here, so please go and check out OCWFED.com for more news, behind-the-scenes segments, and updates. As for now, I have been Tammy Young and this has been the Turnbuckle. We'll see you next time.